CC Bacchus, who are you talking to and who's going to do that? If I'm sitting there coaching this team, well, the first thing that I'm teaching Noble is when you call something, use a name. CC Bacchus, Mirage. This way you know that your jungler is going to go out and drop the Thor wall. Or CC Bacchus, Wubbn. This way you know that the support is going to drop that. Because that's what's happening to Noble. They've got the calls. We're listening to them sometimes. They've got the calls, but nobody's actually picking up the phone, and that's the problem.
Yeah, but like you said, they are getting slowly but surely. And I mean, then again, that could also be the same story for the entire split in season that we've seen Noble in back when they were Randos before they were even picked up by Noble. This seems to be a repetitive system for them to where they keep showing these like brilliant flashes of, hey, these are 5 really skilled players and these 5 players can actually take wins off of top teams.
Right.
And then they just keep falling short. And I think it's primarily due to the fact that I don't think there is like any specific shot caller actually on the roster of Noble Esports. And somebody, and whether I would like to ideally see it coming out of their jungler Mirage personally, because I think that jungle is important for controlling a game. But somebody really needs to step it up in Noble if they want to take any wins this weekend. Yeah,
in general, they also just lack the game knowledge and experience to be able to comfortably shot call and understand like how to play a comp and how to play comp to their strengths. Jing, a very, very standard pick of Venenu who loves this god. Very high pressure. Does very well in the 1v1s. Also passively out farms the R100 due to her passive. She's able to fly back to lane after she backs. Very strong pick.
Noble, on the other hand, they're going to ban out the supports, and again, I think this is an intelligent way for Noble to go. They're going to be able to select what they want, and I think the Noble have noticed that Incon is kind of where they can find their victories.
Janus, Guan, a direct takeaway, so to speak, from ALG.
Oh, for
is
sure.
A comp they love to run. A lot of mobility, a lot of engagement, and a lot of sustained fight potential, a lot of engaged and disengaged potential. I'm looking for MLC to possibly fall back to the Kukulkan here.
Yeah, one thing I think that's pretty interesting, though, that Noble would permit ALG to go ahead and pick up the Jing again. I think that the Jing was actually pretty crucial for ALG as well. Venenu was doing an excellent job at rotating into these team fights ahead of Wowy. And Wowy on that ROM just didn't, like, he started to show up towards the end of stage of that game. But the issue is that the Jing was just always there to perform. And even still, Venenu even split pushed a Phoenix at the same time as Incon was stealing a Gold Fury, and that massive gold swing was just, it was absolutely devastating to Noble.
It was actually a throw after that because ALG took the fight instead of disengaging, and they took a 4v5. But it's also incredibly disheartening that Mirage and Whalrus, they showed up for the first time this LAN. They had the best performances they have had at this LAN.
Exactly.
And for them to all turn up like that and lose, and also with the comp, all the other factors, like, that's incredibly disheartening to Noble. Let's see if they can come back from that. And there's the Rama again. He had a very, very strong game last game on that.
I am so sad right now to see them not opting to take that Thanatos right now because I would have loved to see Mirage on Thanatos. I mean, absolutely comfort with the guy. I wouldn't be surprised if they pull it out after the picks and bans, but I have a feeling ALG might try to take it away from him. But Ram is, I think that Wowy had a really good performance on this Ram. I think that last game was honestly the best performance we've seen out of Wowy so far this weekend. He was definitely starting to step it up and seem a lot more comfortable than when he seemed against other hunters. And so I'm hoping that he keeps forward with this kind of momentum, because if we can just get the Noble from the early stages before, like pre-throw, if we can just get that Noble to be consistent throughout the game, I think that they could definitely take the game off of ALG.
I'm expecting a Nem ban here following the Thor ban. Thor and Nem are very, very strong bans against Bubby. He loves those mid-game sort of junglers. Thanatos instead of Nem makes sense because they actually lack a lot of CC and Janus and Guan. I didn't really notice that. And,
I think the Thanatos, it's interesting because I think a lot of people can take a page out of Allegiance's book where MLC has struggled historically, like the past year, basically. And when he came onto Allegiance, he started to do a lot better. And I think one of the big things that I keep going back to it, MLC just said, look, my team trusts me. I got a weird god pool, but it works. Nox, Kukulkan, he's finding the wins, and he's doing very well. Noble need to realize that, look, Mirage, he plays at Thanatos. Let him rock it. See what happens. Wowy, let him play the ROM. See what happens. And the ROM worked out well. You know, the Thor, it worked out well. Thanatos plays very similar game style to Thor. Throw it at the wall. See what sticks. You got 0 points. What can you lose?
And LCS has a very strong support structure there. Incon and Weekend, they talk a lot and they do a lot for him, and they do it very well setting up for him to do as much damage as he can. Vamana is a very, very strong comfort for Whalrus. Played it a lot in the spring, in both the spring and the fall split. Not surprised to see this pick.
Yeah.
Bacchus and Erlang Shen going to finish up the Team Allegiance draft. A lot of control, again, going exactly what Drelo said, Taco. Just a lot of setup for Kukulkan and MLC to do their business.
Yeah, it's clear that he's really looking for the direct setup with the Susano. I think the Susano is an excellent utility god for the Kukulkan because it allows MLC to get his one-off, to get his tornadoes off pretty securely onto the enemy team. And on top of that, Bacchus as well is another great setup factor for this Kukulkan. So I think the ALG are, again, just going with what they know, and I think that that's probably the best thing they could possibly do is just keep building their draft around MLC's combo, because at the very least, MLC is such a mechanically skilled player that he's going to hit his skill shots. So if you base your draft off of him, you're going to be looking at a very positive outcome. So
real quick, Noble Esports, they've got another good draft coming out. Love to see the Hun Batz doing their thing. We'll go down the table. Taco, who do you think takes it?
This is such a tough decision. I would like to see a split because it'll make day 3 spicy.
I'm honestly going for Allegiance here. Their comp's, in my opinion, a lot stronger than Noble's comp. Also has a very strong early pressure. Can also possibly snowball the game out of control, which is, and again, playing for mid game is Rando's weakness, that they cannot play around their comp very well.
I'll have to agree. I think Team Allegiance look a little bit stronger this time around. Noble, they need to bottle what they got in game number 1 as far as the positives are concerned. I'll let that follow into this game and then especially into tomorrow to see what they can do. It's not all done yet. We can still see the win. Standing by is Hindu and Aggro, and they'll take us to the battlefield.
Thanks so much, Tom, and the analysts as well. Obviously, Noble here on the brink of elimination. Coming into this as well, Aggro, nobody really expected them to do massive things here. They could play spoiler. We've said that a couple of times. But for now, I guess this land is going to be all for them to learn. Learn.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of this system that we have, is that it isn't over for Noble. Even if they are to lose here, that would eliminate them from automatically qualifying for Super Regionals, but this gauntlet is still available. We talked about it earlier. We'll talk about it later as well, going over the exact format. But Noble overall, I think, playing pretty strong in certain phases of the game, which is a little bit better than expected.
I don't want to go back to what we said in the last game, but at the same time, it's like their picks and bans seem pretty solid. The starts of the game aren't too rocky. Go on. You're going to say the picks and bans.
This comp, I'm not a fan of.
Okay.
This is putting a ton of a pressure onto a Duro, and if you're going to have one magical damage dealer, Janus is not the one I want. I want Zeus. I want even Kukulkan.
But
is better than that.
man. A snipe, if a snipe comes through.
Yeah. 28 minutes, it can one-shot someone.
To be fair, Noble's games have gone to at least 28 minutes most of the time here.
That's true, but they've also been behind by 28 minutes almost every game, so...
No, every game, I'm pretty sure. No, actually, there was
I
one
think
game
LG. Yeah, LG, they were still ahead at 28 minutes, but overall, this is a very risky composition for Noble, and this is Allegiance's best composition they've had this LAN, in my opinion.
Without releasing any further strategies as well is the big key here. They did play the strategy earlier on with this Erlang Shen jungle. Actually, it's not going to be Erlang Shen jungle, it's going to be Erlang Shen solo this game. Yeah. But we have seen the Erlang and the Kukulkan coming together. Incon's already shown the Bacchus as well. Nothing new has come out from them so far.
Not yet, but this is just, again, set up for stealth and do it well. But this is the best core that they've gotten, I think, to set up for stealth. The pin from Cope, also very, very comfortable on this god in lane. Weekend obviously had a very good game on Susano last time and just a great setup god in general. Incon, Venenu, two gods they're comfortable on the duo lane without giving up pressure. Really, really excellent composition from the Allegiance.
Well, interesting start again. The Rafts have come into play a little bit here. You'll see the duo lane of Allegiance will get there a little bit earlier here with Incon having that Wrath again, which he stole so many Gold Furies with. However, Whalrus on a Vamana taking the Wrath early.
Surprised to see the Wrath on Vamana. Usually on those Warriors, you'll see teleport basically every time. This tells to me that Whalrus wants to push the lead on Cope early. He wants to bully him out of lane. He wants to get the pressure and then steal his blue buff away.
But I guess an Erlang Shen, is that not that easy?
It's not easy, but it is doable. The only sustain that Erlang has is through the ultimate and the double death toll procs that he gets from his passive. So there is decent sustain, but it's not great. And Whalrus, Vamana's got great poke overall. It's definitely a possibility. We'll have to see Whalrus make good advantage of this Wrath early, or else it could be in trouble for them.
Well, in the middle lane there, you saw Allegiance get the right-hand Harpies and the left-hand Harpies at the start of this game too. So that puts him in an absolutely massive position early on here, approaching level 5 a lot quicker than the mid and jungle composition of Noble.
Yeah, Stealth is going to hit 5 so much sooner than a Duro.
The dream.
And that 5, that hitting 5 for Kukulkan is when you start to rub your hands together and say, it's go time, baby. I'm going to use that Spirit of the Nine wins.
Now, that Spirit of the Nine wins as well, though. You do require your teammates. You have to have trust in them to make sure that they can set it up, because sometimes you have to almost preemptively fire that sometimes to make sure you can confirm the damage.
It does have a pretty long delay on the fire until it gets to where you want it to be, but it does have a long range, and it's best used in the jungle. You really don't want to be firing it in lane a whole lot, unless, again, you're firing it super early and trusting your team to make sure they hit it.
And look at the poke Weekend's doing already there, just going in very deep, trying to force anything he can. A little bit of poke here, a little bit of poke there, and he's in a comfortable position here. This is very good for Allegiance on the second day.
Here's MLC Stealth hitting 5 right away. Mirage does hit 5 before Aduro because he was able to pick up those fire elementals on the right-hand side with Whalrus. So he does have a little bit of advantage over Weekend, who just hit 5.
Well, Mirage went straight to the solo lane there, and it seems to be the plan again. They focused Devios in the set earlier today, Noble, in the Eager matchup. This time around, they're looking at Cope.
Something to note here is that Whalrus at level 5 does not get his ultimate. He put another point into Umbrella Rang to try and clear the wave more effectively. He's not scared of the gank, and if I'm a team that's playing Noble tomorrow, and I'm rewatching this VOD, I'm ganking Whalrus at 5 if he's playing.
Do enough teams do that, though, and actually watch back these game tape to see that people don't take their ultimates?
Probably not. Probably not. It's tedious, you know. You have to be on the lookout for weird things, and you know, a lot of time you're here at LAN with your friends, you want to spend time with them.
Some of the best solo laners as well in the world will abuse that situation too. Like, they won't take their ultimate on purpose to get that extra wave clear advantage.
That's right. Whalrus is actually in a ton of trouble here. Got his dash knocked up, but is able to hit 6 and has the ultimate available to him now. If Cope had known that he didn't level the ultimate, he could have killed him there with his ult. But
I actually think Cope went aggressive there thinking he didn't have enough mana to ult was the biggest reason he went aggressive. If he would have realized that anyway, could have gone all the way.
I think he was just trying to get the ultimate out. I think that he probably was close to the amount of mana that he needed. But speaking of the amount that you need,
Noble, the Gold Fury this early on without a Wrath on this side of the map. Good job, boys. If you can't do it with Incon watching you, do it when he's not even looking.
Exactly. I'm sure they were all holding their breath, though, waiting for Incon to belly flop in, triple kill them, and get the Gold Fury.
Well, instead, Incon's going to go over to the right-hand side here. A bit of a roar in him right now. Going to swing over to the right-hand side and soak some experience by the stolen blue buff.
I wonder if Incon's on that side because Whalrus has that Wrath, and he's worried about making sure that Cope doesn't get invaded. So instead, heading over there and putting pressure on it himself, making sure that if Whalrus does want to invade the blue buff, it's going to be without his own.
And Whalrus is going to have a few issues now. His blue buff stolen away, doesn't have teleport either. That Wrath is not going to be useful in lane. It's going to clear one minion. Like, come on.
Exactly. That's a great point. He's in a ton of trouble now. Good recognition by Allegiance to say, we're just going to try and force him out of lane by making sure he doesn't have enough mana to contest.
Mirage has decided to try and answer that situation by coming over for his teammate, but Weekend is in the jungle and the tornado is channeled. Very well noticed there by Mirage, who somersaults away. Does get pulled back in, and then the space and time is fired too, and the Fear No Evil. Stealth looking for the cheeky steal. The ultimate's going to go through. Mirage jukes it well.
Now going to juke the belly flop as well. A lot of ultimates used there for both sides, and at the end of the day, Weekend saves the blue buff.
Win for Allegiance. That's all it was about, was making sure the blue wasn't stolen, and Whalrus can't pick it up. Now Whalrus back to base right now. You can see that, luckily enough, he did manage to clear the wave beforehand.
And with that extra base movement speed that Vamana has that we always bring up whenever he's in the game, fastest god in the game for his base movement speed, plus clear the path, such a strong dash, goes what feels like forever. You're able to get to lane back pretty quickly. He should only miss a creep here.
And I guess Vamana is one of those that can abuse it a little bit more, not taking the teleport then. Even though we not really spoke about it that much, you can abuse that situation.
It's not quite as good as a character like Jing, who can really go, you know, like doesn't need any sort of help getting back to lane once she backs, but you're right. Vamana, if I was to go no teleport on a solo laner, it would probably be Vamana.
Walcott going a bit aggressive there against Whalrus, trying to poke him out a little bit more here. You can see Whalrus does not have any health potions, but obviously the big baby available for the region if he needs it. It's actually Cope under pressure here with no teleport available for him.
Cope may have to use his ultimate. Instead, he's worried about getting dove, but he should see everyone on the map. Now you see Mirage.
The fight in the jungle, though, is going to happen because of this, and Incon's trying to rotate to support. Actually get engaged on very quickly by Wubbn there, who roots him in place, but the flop was still available.
Miscommunication. That must be it. Fear No Evil had already come out. It was on cooldown for Mirage, and then the cavalry charge is not enough damage on Incon.
Over to the left-hand side, and Weekend going to pressure Wowy here. Very good purification from that kid, and he's having a pretty good session, I'll be honest.
He's had a really, really good set so far. Definitely had the triple kill last time. Top of the damage charts towards the end of the game, and there, a quick purification.
Well, answered back in the solo lane from Noble there. They lost the blue buff, but Allegiance will lose their tower for that one as well. So Cope's aggression there got punished. Weak in the mid lane, looking for some poke damage as he rotates back to his half of the jungle.
But look at the lead that MLC Stealth has gotten. He's level 10, Aduro just hit 8, but this is kind of what, with this sort of matchup, it's awkward. Exactly. Kuku wants to stay in lane, throw nados on some minions, and stack up Book of Thoth and or Warlock Sash. And so Aduro abusing that mobility that he has on Janus. However, probably a little bit too much. Sitting 2 levels down at 6.5 minutes isn't a great spot to be in.
I'm going to say that's what Kuku does, is because he can drop his tornado and walk away knowing he's going to get all the farm. The tornado down there on the right-hand side near these the Harpies at the moment, and they're going to go the way of Noble by the looks of it there. The boys of Allegiance forced to dip out. Space and time was used as well.
Miscommunication is the word of the day for Noble.
Oh,
just
Venenu.
not quite there. Aduro wanted to fight. No one else on Noble did. And so you waste an ultimate for nothing.
Well, we do see 2 Hydras being worked on by both the junglers this game. We've seen a few different things, Jotuns and Hydras, and I think it's starting to come down to personal playstyle a little bit more now, as well as God influences as well.
Exactly. How well can you auto-cancel in between your abilities? Susano, excellent at that. Able to get free autos off in between his Stormkata hits, off the Wind Siphon, off the Jet Stream, off the ultimate. Really can make full effect of that Hydra's Lament passive, as well as Hunbat's. With that passive already incentivizing you to use your auto attacks after each ability, you could get a crit with the extra power on that crit from the Hydras. If you get lucky enough, you can hit for 300 at this point in the game with that passive. And so if Mirage is praying to RN Jesus and gets a lucky roll or 2, he can make a big play.
I mean, Noble have to pray to someone at this stage, though. They can try and take a game here off of Allegiance, and they've got themselves in a pretty good spot, I want to say. They stole a Gold Fury for free earlier on. They've taken a tier 1 tower on the right-hand side, and for now, Allegiance have just been happy to farm up and just allow most of these things to happen.
They're happy to farm up right now because the fact that Noble has 4 physical damage dealers, and they're just waiting to get physical protection online before they take these fights. Exactly. There's no reason to not grab some. MLC Stealth probably won't,
he's the only one,
he's very stubborn in his builds and likes to build the same things each game, and
I think
doesn't
it's a
really
mage choice as well, though, because I mean, Kukulkan is the one that's a little bit more tricky to dive, I want to say.
I still would have gone Dynasty Plate Helm here. If I'm in the mid lane, it's cheap, it gives you pen.
Book of Thoth, man, I'm playing Kuku, I want Book of Thoth.
You could get a 3rd item, that's fine. You know, you delay your initial power spike by getting Book of Thoth.
But what am I going to start? No, I need my stacks, man. It goes with my passive.
Hindu, take a breath. You'll get your stacks, brother. You just buy Helm afterwards.
But what if the game doesn't last that long?
Well, then you don't care anyways. I mean, assuming you're winning.
If you're losing,
then that's a real bad spot. If you don't get a 1,700 gold helmet after your Book of Thoth, you're in some serious trouble.
Well, the Gold Fury has respawned, and wall coverage is in favor of Allegiance here as now, and they're setting up here for a cheeky play in the jungle. Stealth's position will give away the idea that he's going to look for those ults over the wall.
Talking to Chaos on the podcast that you and I do, I'll hold that thought.
Hold that thought. Bring up
Wubbn
podcast fight is on Fair No Evil down, but look at this. Pressure onto Incon. They want Incon bad, and they'll invest a lot into him. Adoro gets credit for the kill. Whalrus over here as well in the backline. Big baby popped, and Allegiance turned tail.
Allegiance turns tail, but they still have a lot of ults. More specifically, they've still got Spirit of the Nine Winds, so this Gold Fury pull is going to be very risky. CC Kukulkan, that's got to be the call here, and it's got to be called before you pull.
Oh, Whalrus gets pinned in place, and his dash is down as well. The ult's going to connect. MLC Stealth will delete him. Over the top, though, Mirage. He jumps away from that ult and takes that weaken.
Trades out 1 for 1 on the back end, so overall 2 for 1 in favor of Noble. Really nice fight by them. Incon is getting a little bit too aggressive. It looks like ALG wants to pull this, though. This is the classic, we fought, we're not doing Gold Fury, we're not going to do anything.
Nah.
Just go out and farm, don't worry.
I like the calls from both the teams there, because you saw the focus from Allegiance to try and pick off Whalrus. Reason being, he's got a Wrath. You take the Wrath out, it means you've got a potential to do the goal.
That kill was all Cope, though. The pin over the wall during the clear the path, that, like we mentioned a ton of times by now, it's got the highest base movement speed, clear the path, a very quick dash. To be able to predict that over the wall, I don't think he had vision there either, just going off game instinct. Awesome play there by Cope, sets up the kill onto Whalrus.
And those 2 solo lanes for me this weekend have probably been the best 2 performers of the rookies as well here. Cope coming in, he was very underrated by a lot of people. A lot of people said he's only on the team because Weaken knows him. Well, he's had an okay season, so, you know, an okay time at the LAN. Yes, a little bit aggressive on day 1, but he started to tone it back a little bit.
He's definitely looking a lot more comfortable, and I think it was Venenu who said he admitted Cope had a tough start to this split, didn't look very good, but has definitely improved and looking better basically every week that we've seen him. And like you mentioned, a lot of players really didn't have a lot of faith in him coming in. Player performed great so far.
Well, this time around, his Allegiance looking for a cheeky Gold Fury, and Wubbn's not going to be there in time. And with the hand of Incon available to him, he's going to be able to just walk away again with another Gold Fury to his name.
And this Gold Fury is much more impactful than the one Noble snuck earlier in the game. Gold Fury scales in gold and experience as the game goes later. So that one worth a lot more gold. You can see the significant spike that it gave Allegiance, basically evening this gold deficit.
Well, it looks like Noble are trying to answer back in mid lane, but I guess Kukulkan might be hard for a Weevil forced, and actually the deletion of Weaken happens. And then on top of that, now it's Incon forced out as well. Stealthy's on his way back to the action, though, and what happened? Where was the damage?
I wonder if he got crit with the hi-rez passive.
That must have been it.
It must have been it. It was all of a sudden Weaken just
nobody knows.
Absolutely disappeared. He even used Purification and still died. So not only do you get his Purification and the kill, you got both relics out from MLC Stealth. Excellent fight there by Noble.
It's just a shame that they can't get anything else out of that engagement, though. A bit of poke in the mid lane, a kill on Weaken, it wasn't enough.
That's true, but I like the overall pace from Noble because usually when you don't have a shot caller, it's great, we got a pick and a bunch of relics. Let's just keep on diving this tier 1 tower, and then you get wiped, and it's like, oh, well, that didn't work out at all.
Good play. I mean, you
Good
saw
patience from Noble right now.
It's a bit wise, though. Mirage ultimate used, Wubbn ultimate used there as well. They didn't really have anything else to stop MLC Stealth, who was still sat on that Spirit of the Nine Winds anyway.
And there's no real CC on the side of Noble outside of those two ultimates. It's basically Fear No Evil and Cavalry Charge that's going to take advantage of Purification that's on cooldown.
Now, we do see Whalrus has gone into the teleport eventually here as well as his second relic, but with it being on cooldown there, Cope will get a lot of free poke on the tower, but very respectfully backing up.
And a strong call right there. He doesn't have any meditation. Instead, going for this weakening curse up against the Guan Yu, wanting to make sure that sustain isn't as impactful during the team fight. So it's going to be very critical that Wubbn make sure he picks up a sprint as his second relic. That's the counterplay that you need up against the weakening.
Now the best thing I like to see here is Cope's under a bit of pressure here from Mirage. The monkey toss was good, and so was the Fear No Evil. Space and time fight. Two Cope's in a world of hurt. Gonna get the taunt off, but the heal will not come through. Free pick for Noble.
4 people on the right side of the map and no real rotation in time from Allegiance. At least Weaken does get his speed buff. He's very far behind, 3 levels now, about even in gold, but it's been Mirage, and you saw the impact that having that second relic can have. Him having Blink when Weaken didn't have his second relic was the turning point in that mid lane tier 1 tower dive.
Well, now with Cope being dead, they're going to try and siege mid for a second, but Noble can't really do anything once again against a Kukulkan and a Bacchus, so they will get the right and Harpies, however, but the left one's going to be contested by Incon.
This team comp for Allegiance is going to get better as the game goes on. It's not really centered around the early game. It's really about the 5v5 fights that they can put out. A ton of AoE, a ton of big damage from afar, and easy to confirm long-range CC in the Pin and the Typhoon. I love the team comp from Allegiance, and again, it's just a matter of time until the physical defense starts to get stacked on their side.
I'm looking at roots and knockups. Just ignore Weaken completely here, but the roots coming out from Cope into a knockup from Incon, or Incon a knockup into a root, just provides all that time for the Tornado to just wreak havoc.
Especially if Whalrus doesn't decide to build in a magical protection, because if he stands in a Tornado for that long, he's basically going to have to use his ultimate every time that combo happens to him. And we see the weakness of Vamana a lot as the game gets later and later. At this stage, he's invincible in that big baby, man. He could just stomp to his heart's content and not really worry about the damage that Allegiance is going to be putting on him. But as the game goes later, a lot of times it's, oh, I'm going up into my ultimate. The other team says, okay, we're just going to kill you through your healing and protection anyways.
Well, Copebby over in the solo lane going to get his blue buff here, but as we see Whalrus maybe looking around to contest. I do like the fact he's got into Witchblade. Normally I wouldn't really like this because of the situation he's against, but we mentioned 4 physicals. It's very useful.
Love this pickup from Cope. We have not seen enough Witchblades so far this weekend. Against 4 physicals, and 3 of them are heavy on auto attacks. Ram, Mirage, and Whalrus all have to be weaving in auto attacks to make their kits effective. Love the pickup from Cope, helping his team, and again, focusing on the 5v5 fight that they can do. Very intelligent item build from Cope.
And that seems to be the story of solo lanes as the season progressed here. It used to be solos were the hard carries of the team. They turn up and they bring victory for you with doubles, triples, and pentas. These days, it's more about working as a team. Dimmy, like the forefront of that from EU.
Very much so. Always takes the losing matchup, it seems like, for Dimmy for energy, and then comes in and makes the big impact. And it's about time, man. Mages deserve to be the heroes now.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Ultimates are fun and they do damage, not like taunt.
The good mages at aggro were already heroes. That's the key you need to realize.
I can be a hero. I can be your hero, baby. I can
please.
take away the pain.
Please take away this pain of having to cast with you, that's for sure. 16 minutes in this game, though. It's 4-1. Noble are ahead. The Gold Fury is about to respawn now for the third time. And we mentioned, you know, the Gold Fury does scale as the game goes on. So this one is almost hitting its max value now as well.
This is an important Gold Fury for both teams. This could really dictate the pace for the next 10 minutes or so. And Noble has to be right there whenever the Gold Fury respawns, because talking to Chaos, this is what I'm about to say about our podcast. We had Chaos on and talking about the resurgence of Kukulkan in the meta, and it's because you can pull the Gold Fury, ult it, and wrath it, and it's so much damage so fast that teams can't really respond.
Okay, Incon. Another attempt. Will they be able to defend it this time around? Spirit of the Night wins. Was not 5 for fear, no evil.
They
Zone
CC'd!
duty. Zone duty happened.
They
Mirage
zoned them
came
out!
up big.
That's a Gold Fury with a contestation potential, and they still got it.
This is a good situation for
Yes!
Noble now. I mean, the gold
Noble!
lead goes back in their favor again. They're up to about 2k gold, but this time it's Allegiance choosing to siege the mid lane.
Again, a big Gold Fury there puts Noble with a fairly significant advantage, but Allegiance able to siege us
Space
down.
and time, fired by Adoro, only hits on to Venenu, who's not going to be too worried, and in the end, Noble have to give up a tier 1, so answered back from Allegiance.
Weekend getting into a little bit of trouble, trying to invade that speed buff. Mirage obviously doesn't want to give it up, but Allegiance really want it. They're the ones who secure it, I think. Mirage forced to back out, and it looks like they might just back up off this fight.
Wowy under a bit of pressure. Intoxicate coming out from Incon there. The focus maybe towards Incon, at least from Wubbn. Meanwhile, on the back of this fight, Copebby was looking at Whalrus, who's got a big baby. It's Incon alone and isolated. He's trying to hide in the tunnel. Spirit of the Night Winds comes through, but only hits Wubbn. Wowy is still alive, however. Mirage is now on a killing spree.
Incon the first to fall here. Venenu gets sniped out. The Fear No Evil, both relics used.
Tornadoes!
Huge NATO hits both. Mirage gonna trade out his life. He is gonna fall. MLC Stealth forced to use the Sanctuary. The double kill for Stealth as well. 2 for 1 right now, it looks like. Okay, look, it popped up. It said double kill, but
Hang
Stealth
on a
only got 1.
second. Stealth still looking for more here. He's looking to make him
Great
fly away on his
pull.
Zephyr one more time. Cope gets the kill. Credited for that one, 6-3. That's the first 3 kills, I believe, we've seen Allegiance get. They've not had many.
There we go. There's the double kill that I was talking about. At least 2 down, 2 for 2 overall. And you do get the speed buff on the side of Allegiance. Basically a wash at this point in the game, though. However, it is Whalrus who fell, as opposed to Incon on the side of Allegiance. So you're trading out a jungler and a solo laner for an ADC and a support. But that ADC is a higher level than the solo laner right now. That's Venenu with one of the highest golds in the game. Yeah, like right there with the Mirage. I think he does have the highest farm in the game right now. So he's worth a lot of gold. Basically an even wash there for both teams.
Well, player damage this game, you can see MLC Stealth is still topping the charts for his team and has a speed buff now.
Hey.
A snake with speed buff.
Now he's going to be so slippery whenever he uses that second ability.
I see what you did there. Snake, slippery.
Hey, hey.
Look at that. Incon in mid with his second goal fury of this game. No, second goal fury of this game that he had to wrath.
No, that was Noble.
Oh, no, you're right. Noble. I'm sorry. I was so
You're so used to it. Yeah, no.
I was
Remember
trying to be
Noble?
BM.
It was Allegiance coming in. They contested it.
I'm sorry.
They zoned away the damage.
I saw Bacchus.
And
I saw
they got
Wrath.
it.
I saw 2 Gold Furies down, and I was like,
No,
oh,
we're
it must be
proud of
Allegiance.
them.
We are proud of them.
Way
we
to
are
go,
proud. And they
Noble.
are getting back. And they're still in this game as well. And this is the same tail of the tape every single game. They are always still in the game until around this time. The 20 to 25 minute mark is where something always goes wrong. Let's hope this time, though, it doesn't.
Eventually, it's got to work out for Noble.
Get
and
one time, right?
one time.
Just
Like,
give us one.
all you need is one. That's it. That's a great song, by the way, by a lesser
Fear No
known
Evil
artist.
in the jungle used by Mirage, and Venenu, though, very quickly answering back. Didn't have his purification available, but the airstrike was very nicely timed.
Very important to get that off. Otherwise, that would have been a big pick because, like we mentioned, he's near the top of the farming. But Cope and Weekend on this right-hand side trying to pressure out Whalrus while the rest of Noble are all pushing down left. This looks like roles have swapped almost.
Well, the teleport coming out from Allegiance here, and Noble trying to decide whether they want the town. They'll get it and start to run, but round the corner comes the rotation. The portal from Adoro says, choo-choo, boys, we're going back home.
Teamwork from Noble. This is like the turning point, man. They're starting to work as a team, getting that tier 1 tower as Allegiance is spread
But
out.
I love this about them. The best thing I love about Noble here is the fact that they are down, they've been losing games all weekend, but they haven't given up, and they're still trying.
They're looking good right now. Again, you'd think that they're going to get one with the way that they've been playing.
They've got to get one.
It's been a little bit of bad luck, a couple of missed calls and missed abilities, but overall, Noble's in a pretty good spot to steal one away from Allegiance, and this is a huge game for Allegiance. getting this extra point, if they can secure the 2-0, would tie them for the lead with Eager today.
Mirage.
Otherwise, they'll be in 3rd place going into the final day.
Round on the left-hand side, they're going to defend the Tier 1 tower. No extra pressure coming out from Allegiance there. And I think at the moment, what I can see from Noble is they're trying to abuse the fact that Weekend is still behind in experience in the jungle here. His itemization's a little bit further behind as well, but mainly it's the levels of actual experience.
Still down 2 levels, but MLC Stealth does have that level lead in the middle lane. But he's gone for this build again that is so expensive and takes so
I was going to mention this to him because
go.
Stealth always goes for the double stack, and then one of his teammates, I believe it was Weekend or Incon or someone, was talking crap about this build when he saw somebody else on another team do it, and then he went, "Whoa, double stacking!" And then Stealth went, "I do that every game." They're like, "Oh, do you? Yeah. Oh." And that was all the conversation. It was really awkward. It was great.
Yeah, man, I get it on Kukulkan. I do. I just really prefer getting Warlock Sash first because those stacks are so much more important.
Now, the one thing that I do understand about Weekend here, and this is, correct me if I'm wrong, right, but Kukulkan in the mid lane, he actually steals farm away from junglers a lot because his tornado clears so quick.
Sometimes,
that
yes.
can cause issues, right?
You can wait for your team. It's actually the character that steals the most mid farm, in my opinion, is Janus because
really?
you can throw Unstable Vortex from so far away. There's a lot of times where I'm walking into lane with my jungler, you just throw the ability, it clears the back archers, but your jungler is still too far in order to get that experience in gold, and you end up only getting half the wave. So as long as there's good communication, you're waiting to drop the tornado until they're close enough, it usually isn't too big of a problem.
Well, Golf Fury's respawn again. The wall coverage is in Noble's favor now, but with Incon, the permanent sentry ward around this Golf Fury, he's going to be here to defend this time round as Noble did take the last one. Wubbn rooted in place, and Incon going to zone them back out again to make sure he can defend this ward.
Yet another Gold Fury dance. This time, hopefully, not everyone from Allegiance backs. That last Gold Fury really went the way of Noble because of the mistimed backs from a lot of members of Allegiance. It was just Incon and MLC Stealth left to defend it, and Noble did a great job of recognizing their power play.
And in the jungle, Noble definitely have issues here up against the tornadoes and the big area of control that Allegiance has here. If they group up for just a point of a second, this fat man will flop in there and cause them bad situations.
That's true, but Allegiance is also has to be a little bit wary just because of the snipe from Maduro. If you get caught out, you get hit by the snipe, and then all of a sudden the whole team's coming through to train wreck you, you can catch yourself in a bad spot.
Well, Whalrus going to be on zone duty, focus onto Incon, poke him out a little bit. Incon not going to panic too much though, but taking some free poke now, forced to flop away, but it all baited Stealth to get some more poke off in response.
And a good pull actually forces Whalrus' ultimate. Definitely did not need to go into the Colossal Fury there. A panic ult, it is a huge one. Whalrus, no ultimate for this fight.
And now because of this, Allegiance going to pull the Gold Fury and try and bring Noble in one more time. They know there's one ultimate missing, and it is one of their frontliners too. They need to watch out for the Fear No Evil though. When you mentioned the snipes on the Janus, they're still looking for a fight here, Allegiance.
Weekend is the one looking for the fight, pushing in the middle lane, forces Whalrus low, but that was it. There was nothing else there. Whalrus is going to be able to back and teleport in, no problem. That's another ultimate burned on the side of Allegiance.
Well, let's have a little listen to the Steel Series listening of Allegiance's comms.
Watch out for the Janus ult. Careful, we don't have anything up right now. I'm slowed forever. No, I'm not there.
Rama beats are down.
I can flop. Can we turn a Rama?
No.
Rooted boat.
Get him on the boat. Got it.
Oh, no. I'm really low.
You're fine, you're fine.
Okay, we're good.
Someone's TP again. Someone's TP again.
They're gonna...
Bit of a crazy fight there, aggro, between the two teams. It goes in favor of Allegiance 2-for-1, but Golf Fury still stands.
Biggest thing for me is you pick Kukulkan to make an impact with the ultimate. That time, Spirit of the Nine wins. Completely off the mark from MLC Stealth. That's why the fight is very close. Almost a really great turnaround, and I love the communication in between Incon and Weekend. However, you heard Incon, can we turn on Rama? Weekend says no. Incon says, big double flop on Rama. And then Weekend's like, oh, all right, I guess I'm going back in and have to follow up.
Now, Venenu did die in that engagement, but that airstrike that hit two and got himself a double kill, I think was the real turning point. Otherwise, Allegiance, you know, it wasn't that clean of an engagement at all.
Not at all. It was very, very awkward. You heard that they wanted to reset on the Gold Fury whenever through space and time came in.
Yep.
Cope's still on the Gold Fury a little bit. Incon's way up by the speed buff wall. Everyone else pretty far back. But overall, Noble dumped a ton into Incon. That Fear No Evil was basically just on Incon. And then I think Cavalry Charge was also just on Incon. So that Noble has to be wary. You saw that he was able to live throughout that entire engagement despite all those ults.
Well, ultimates are all back available, and round 2 is about to begin here. Gold Fury pulled by Noble, but constantly reset for the time being. It does regen as that happens, though. So as it keeps happening, no one's really going to get an advantage.
No, but Noble's okay with tanking it up a little bit because they have that sustain from Guan Yu, whereas there's no sustain on the side of Allegiance. It's basically only pots available to them, and only MLC Stealth has one available to him right now.
Well, Gold Fury pulled one more time. Allegiance going to start this one up on zone duty. Nobody right now, as Weaken and Stealth are actually in the mid lane. It's going to allow Whalrus and Wubbn to show presence.
Both Wraths are down right now.
Is this why we're dancing?
12 seconds. This is why we're dancing. We're waiting for the Wrath to come up. I wonder if each team knows the cooldown of the other, and if so, this dance is going to continue. However, if Incon says, "Oh, my Wrath's up," Whalrus says, "I don't think it's up," they could pull it and make a big mistake.
Well, for everyone at home, if you can't see it, the Wraths are both up for both of them now, so they should know this dance is going to end very soon, and Incon's going to engage a little bit on Whalrus there. Big baby very early again from Whalrus, unsurprised, very surprising.
And then and Allegiance right away, just, all right, it's all you, man. You can walk around the Gold Fury for a little bit longer. Sure, you can take ward coverage too. We'll take the ultimate in exchange for our sentry ward on the Fury.
Well, let's have a listen into the Steel Series listen of Noble this time as they start the gold.
He knows we want him. We're making it obvious.
Bubbles, he's right behind the wall. He's behind the wall right here. Should I blink?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get this. Yeah,
you probably solo him. You can probably solo him.
Go on.
Blow him up.
That's a save.
Knock everybody up.
I checked him.
Jing Wei. Knock him
I
up.
can kill him. He's one shot.
Nice.
I got
Right, when you go through portals.
I'm on Jing. I'm shelling.
I wait for cooldown. Jing all down. Jing out.
Throw
The
me
fight.
yard.
Bacchus is out too.
Back up and heal.
Yeah, just back up and heal. Play it slow.
Careful, Joe.
We have sustain, remember? We have sustain. Alright, just keep healing.
1 second.
They have their hog up. I have my ult in 5. Just keep healing. They want to engage.
Spread out until he is up. It's up in 5.
Red going for
Red.
red.
Oh, shot red.
Okay. They may take this to Wowy, I think.
Yeah, I have it.
Just keep healing. Alright.
I love the fact Noble are competing, man. You know, like, their heads, I expected their heads to drop after day 1, drop even further after the first 3 games they've played. But this game, they are starting to find synergy. Go on Stealth, they invested a lot into the correct target.
4 ults used to kill Stealth, and he did a decent job of surviving as long as he can. But yeah, I mean, he's the big damage dealer. He's the star of Allegiance. No pun intended, because their logo is a star. And that's MLC Stealth for you. But they finally get him. They use through space and time to get everyone near him. The Blink Fear No Evil, snipes from Rama. The Cavalry Charge is the one that finishes him off. But they got him. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. But here, you use both relics. These ultimates are going to be coming back up soon. The Blink probably won't, but the relics for Stealth are down for the next minutes plus. This is another opportunity, and you see Allegiance now doesn't want to be anywhere near the Gold Fury because they don't want that to happen again.
Gonna have to sit back a little bit until those relics come back up, like you said, and I actually think Noble should be the ones to pressure it now. The ultimate's back available for everybody again. They do have to worry about Stealth, though. I mean, his ultimate and the Wrath from Incon can still make an impact.
That's true, but he shouldn't be able to get anywhere near this Gold Fury with no relics available because all it takes is a Blink Fear No Evil into the snipes from Wowy, and he's dead. Every time, 100% of the time.
But also, like, Noble did show their game plan there. Kill Stealth, right? So when they come to the next time round, if Allegiance adapt to that, they could just peel heavily for Stealth there and actually set them up into a bad spot.
Against normal comps, yes, but against this comp, because it's 5 coming through the Janus portal, you can't peel that. Noble does want this Gold Fury, looking for a nice flop into Incon.
Gonna find Wubbn only, though. The Gold Fury still aggro, now reset there as the Tornado and the space and time goes off. Stealth's in trouble. He's got no relics. He's trying to run for his life, but around the corner comes Whalrus. He'll clear it over the umbrella rank. Wowy in the sky looking for snipes now. He was there to make sure he cleared off Stealth first of all. Venenu in trouble. Wubbn in a lot more trouble as the airstrike from Venenu connects.
And now Mirage in a ton of trouble. Incon still putting pressure onto him. It's 3 weak members of Allegiance. Cope falling low as well. Now Wowy gonna fall. Huge autos for Venenu. Double kill for him. Aduro's the triple kill for Venenu. And that's a big team fight for Allegiance.
And now with that, Venenu maybe get greedy for the Quadra here, looking towards Whalrus. But I think they should just go for the Gold Fury now. It's available for them to take.
The problem is that Whalrus still has the Wrath available to him. So they do have to be worried about where he is, as well as the fact that he does have vision on this with the Sentry Ward.
Well, Big Baby's online. It's going to buy him some time, and he's trying to put a beat on Venenu, but Venenu doesn't care. This is going to be delayed Quadra kill more than likely for him, and he'll find it because Whalrus just walked right to his face.
again, we get to the point where Big Baby is no longer scary and is just, hey, you can't use his dash while he's in this. Let's just kill him. And Whalrus just face tanks him. Definitely, when you're the solo laner and you rotate in, I'm big and bad, no one can do anything to me. I'm just gonna be in the face of Venenu, I don't even care. Well, it's 30 minutes in. You care now. He's going to be able to shred through you.
So they invested a lot in stealth again there. You saw it all used one more time, even Wowy in the sky with the Rama, just to make sure if that happened again when he was still low, he gets out. And all that investment into stealth ended up coming back to haunt them then.
Without a doubt, because Venenu was able to just run through the team fight as much as he pleased. And that's the problem whenever you're investing that much. Stealth couldn't do a whole lot there with those
There's more than one
relics
carry on every team, right? That's the big key.
Exactly, and that's what makes teams good. If you've got, 4 supporting players and then the big star, you're not going to win a whole lot of games against good teams because they're going to say, all right, let's just
stars.
Exactly. You need to make sure that you've got someone who can step up if given the opportunity. Venenu doesn't have to be the star of every game. He doesn't have to make the big flashy play and get all the kills every game. That's what Stealth's there for. But in the instance where Stealth is, they're using 3 to 4 ultimates to kill Stealth every fight, that's when you need your Hunter to step up and be the big game player, and that's what the rookie Venenu is doing here in Game 2 against Noble.
And because of that, Allegiance did win Game 1. They'll get 3 points here, which puts them in a very decent position, especially after losing earlier on against LG. We still have LG versus Eager to come today as well, so make sure you stay tuned for that one. This day is going to be fantastic, and still tomorrow as well.
Man, that's a really good game we've got coming up next. There's a whole lot of excitement. Group B has been absolutely phenomenal.
It's as I expected, I think, for the most part. I mean, in terms of competition between the top 3, and Noble could cause some issues.
I mean, Group D is the quote-unquote group of death that everyone's
D
been
is for
talking
death.
about. Yeah, but
That's what we designed
B
it.
is for
Bad.
best games.
Good call.
Yeah.
Good save. Good
Thank
save.
you.
Thank you.
These are 3 top-tier teams in Allegiance, Eager, and Luminosity, and you see that Noble's able to compete with these top-tier teams. Yeah, they haven't found a win, but they've been really close.
I mean, a lot of people will look at Noble and go, they're bad players. They're not bad players at all. They're just missing out on certain things that you need to get to the top of the Pro League. These are some of the best players in the world. Grandmasters like Diamond 1 is something like 0.05% of the player base. It's crazy.
There's still a difference between Grandmasters players and players like Whalrus and Aduro. These guys, they understand how the game is meant to be played at a competitive level because ranked Smite and competitive Smite are basically 2 different games. On console, you actually have to put in a different disc to play those 2 games.
Oh, really?
That's not true at all either. God, why do I tell them that?
Why do you
It's
lie?
true. There's 2 different discs. Go out to GameStop and hopefully one's really far away and you drive all that way and they say, Smite's a digital download, you
So when you used to play, right, did you just put the wrong disc in? Because you always played like you were just a casual.
Basically, I actually had it minimized in the background. I was playing like Gears of War in the front.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Good call. Let's just advertise other games instead of our own game. Good job, Aggro.
No one would have noticed if you didn't say it.
Great job. You're employed by hi-rez right now.
Great job pointing it out, Hindu. No one would have noticed.
Well, too late now. The Fire Giant dances started between Allegiance and Noble. Now, obviously, Allegiance, after the last little engagement with the Gold Fury, puts them in a great spot.
But now I can play Paladins in the front instead. Come into console.
Good save.
Beta.
Good save.
Sign up for it. It's a great game.
Saved.
Nailed it.
Tier 1 on the left-hand side. Weaken is starting to split push that down a little bit, but Wowy has come back already. They're looking for the red buff here, though, Allegiance. They're just trying to find something else to fight over.
It'll be interesting to see how Noble wants to play these next few fights because the last 2 have been dive stealth at any cost necessary, and Venenu's made them pay. So it'll be interesting to see if they want to change up that strategy. Do we want to dump half and half? Fear no evil on stealth and, cavalry charge on Venenu? Do we want to just dive Venenu now and let MLC stealth make the impact?
Is cavalry charge really that effective against a Jing Wei, though?
It forces them out of the fight.
Okay.
That's all that matters. If you could just make Venenu back up a little bit, that's all that matters if you're burning that ultimate.
What's happening right now is Allegiance making Noble back up as they siege a tier 2 tower in the mid lane. Fire Giant isn't even being looked at by Allegiance. They're just looking to extend the gold lead now.
Now it looks like they're going to go in the middle lane. Sanctuary popped on Wowy. The huge crits coming through. Fear no evil saved his life for now.
And in the sky goes Wowy, now looking for the snipes. The second one did not connect. The third one will not connect either as the airstrike from Venenu was quality. On top of that, now the boys of Allegiance piling down. Cope picks up Whalrus through the big baby. The Phoenix is under threat. Incon flops in the back to keep Wubbn busy, and this Phoenix will fall.
Just a little bit too early on that airstrike. Venenu could have had a double there, but at the end of the day, that's a middle Phoenix and a dead solo laner on the side of Noble. 5,000 gold in the lead is Allegiance, and they're looking strong.
And now they're going to look for a tier 2 tower on the left-hand side. It's another 1,500 gold for the coffers, if they so choose. But by the looks of it here, very wisely, they want to play it safe.
There's no reason to push this right now. Most of your players are half health. Plus, the Fire Giant's still available to Noble. Yeah, they don't have Whalrus, but he's got Teleport, he's got Wrath, and you don't want to let them get hunkered into that Fire Giant pit. Get there, contest it, and use this 4v5 power play that you have for the next 20
Now,
seconds.
the times we've seen Noble really shine in this game as well, Aggro, we've seen them be aggressive first of all. Up against Allegiance right now in the state of the situation, do they have to change that style? Because it looks like they did and try to play counter initiation, which didn't work out.
No, if it works, it works. Here's Mirage trying to force out the purification, but that's a
get anything.
huge win.
He didn't get a single relic or anything out of stealth.
And that's veteran playership right there by MLC Stealth. Understanding where people are on the map, not worried, understands that it's
Had
just
teammates.
Mirage all by himself, got the Fear No Evil out for free, so now Whalrus is back up, but Fear No Evil is the biggest impact ultimate that you can have at this stage of the game, as long as you can force purification.
Well, you saw the big baby on Vamana. That doesn't make an impact anymore. Venenu will blow him up. On top of that, though, there is a Doro, and he is Janus, and you talked about late game, the winner, and you said 30 minutes. Well, we're at that
We're
point.
there, baby. He's got the Rada Tahuti. He's got the fully stacked Book of Thoth. Now going for the Chronos Pendant last item. Gonna have a little bit of CDR mixed in there as well. A lot of times you'll see Janus go CDR early, but this tournament, we really haven't seen a whole lot of that. It's been Janus favoring Book of Thoth,
Yes.
favoring things like that.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle. Whalrus is running away tonight. The snipe comes out from a Doro. Not going to find anyone with that. And Whalrus is still being chased down by Weekend, who walks into the whole team.
No
he
fear.
doesn't seem too scared either.
But he used the Typhoon and missed. Now it's going to be Wowy up in the air. Weekend going to get sniped down by Wowy. MLC Stealth is here to try and clean up Wubbn and Mirage. Wubbn stunned out and taunted back in. Spirit of the Night wins off the mark.
Not going to find it, but Wowy's in trouble here. He tried to stay in the front line and tank, but the front line is backing away for Noble. And Allegiance are running through them. Whalrus, however, will reappear with Mirage and take out Venenu. They really want Stealth in the jungle too. At least Mirage does.
He's got
and
Blink.
Stealth is limping away.
He's got Blink. He's going to catch up to him. There's the auto. Gets the kill. That's
hold.
3 dead, and that's the 3 damage
Here we
dealers
go
for
again.
Allegiance.
Noble could go for the Fire Giant here now if they so choose. Incon is still available though, and he has a Wrath, but they've got to deal with 2 tanks.
I think I'd rather see them go for the Phoenix here. The problem with that is look at where everyone is on the map. You see how far back Wowy and Wubbn are.
You asked for Phoenix. They're going for Fire.
Oh, Lord. Here we go again, man. I'm
No,
nervous
they're not going to
for
do
them.
it. They're not going to do it. Come on, Noble. Focus, Noble.
Zone
We can
it out,
do this
Noble.
as a team, Noble. Kill him. Kill Incon.
Venenu evil,
Kill
yes.
Incon. Yes. Kill him. Make him dead. Now do the Fire Giant.
What was that through space and time? A Duro? Okay, it doesn't
It's for
matter.
damage. It's for damage. It's
Yeah,
fine. It's
okay.
fine. We got the Fire Giant. Noble is still in this game. They lose mid Phoenix, but now with the Fire Giant on all 5 members, they have a power play.
Look, I want to make it very clear. I don't think either of us really care who wins this game. I just want to see teams improving and looking
Yes.
and learning from their mistakes.
Yes. I love
And
Allegiance. I love Allegiance. I want to see the 3-horse race tomorrow. But seeing Noble day to day making improvements and finally getting somewhere with this team, please, because then next year they're actually one of the teams that are competing for the mid to top table.
Dude, all the Twitchies in chat are just going to be so angry with us for rooting for Incon to die.
Yeah, ALG is going to be very upset. But it's okay. It's
Ah,
okay.
who cares?
I love him, except Weekend because he sucks.
Hey, that's my former teammate.
Who, Weekend?
Yeah.
He was number 1 once.
Once, and then he came to console, and we finished number 2.
Yeah, you did.
Hey.
And then you retired.
Hey.
What a great career. Now onto the game though, once again, 13-11, 39 minutes in the game. The gold is even. The experience doesn't even matter, although Wubbn does have a 2-level lead. Experience means nothing.
We're at 39 minutes, and the gold difference was 2. It was a 2 gold lead for Noble, by the way. Gold lead for Noble, baby.
We've talked all the time about Noble though and how they can play spoiler. Right? We kept bigging it up as it's an opportunity for them to do it, and this is the game they have the shot at, even more so than the LG one right now. Yeah, the Phoenix is just respawning mid lane, but Fire Giant on 5 members, and the way they're doing these team fights is working in their favor.
Again, it's got to happen eventually, and you're right. This is the best opportunity for Noble. We're sitting 40 minutes into this game. The problem for them is that middle Phoenix is weakened. And if they try and go for that right-hand Phoenix or a tier 2 and they lose the fight, MLC Stealth, that's a big ultimate, it's probably game over for them. This game is on the balance beam, ma'am. It is teetering, and Aduro just used Sanctuary for being somewhere that he shouldn't be.
He got pulled off by Weekend there, and Weekend's gonna actually fall back because of that. Now, though, Noble have the hardest decision that they always struggle with. What do we do with the Fire Giant?
You got You have two options. You can push down
Towers?
both towers to make so it's easier for your next fight, and then reset for the Fire Giant. Or you can go for it all and go for that right-hand Phoenix.
Incon on zone duty here, round the corner, Rapid Legions though, waiting for this fight. And actually, Whalrus took a lot more poke than he wanted to there. He'll fall back to regen a little bit. They do have a Guan, but Mirage goes in on his own.
Good initiation by Mirage, getting 2 relics
But no
out.
one's there.
And no one was there, but he's just looking for relics. Cope wants to chase him out, stealth. Look at them all grouped. His eyes are getting big. Is he going to go for the ultimate here?
No, he's going to go for the tornado. The
Shoot it.
ultimate
Oh,
will
we
not
had it,
be
dude.
fired off there.
Oh, they were
Decided to hold
grouped.
it. But
That
this works out for Allegiance though. They hold their towers, they hold their Phoenix, and once again, Noble have to regroup with their ultimates.
That's why Stealth's there and I'm not, dude. My eyes would have gotten
'Cause you're
so
greedy.
big, and my finger would have been on 4, and bam, and then they all Sanctuary and turn and kill us all, and we lose the game.
You actually see the Polynomicon. You saw the cameraman highlight that for us as well. His last time was Polynomicon here, so actually a little bit more damage because of the Zephyr combo as well.
Zephyr auto attack will do 700 damage to anyone at this point.
Lovely.
It's a huge burst. It's absolutely
Come to me,
nuts.
Wowy. Come to me, Adoro. Come to me, Mirage.
Yeah.
And I'll make you pay.
Absolutely. The strong slow, the 50% slow on Zephyr guarantees the ultimate, basically. MLC Stealth is not going to miss an auto attack on someone who's slowed by 50%.
So the tier 2 tower does fall down for Noble in mid lane, and now they can look for the left-hand side and take Allegiances again away. Whalrus, though, took a lot of free poke space and time. Fire's not going to hit! It does, but it's not enough damage to find a kill.
Trying to get Whalrus out there, I think, was the idea by Aduro, making sure that he doesn't get picked off.
You got me excited with that because of the fact that, you know, late game Aduro with a snipe.
But it's still a warrior. He's still got the Pestilence, the Mantle of Discord, a good amount of defense, but he's not as defensive as, say, Whalrus. He does have a couple of damage items. He's got the chin size and the attack speed boots as well. So Cope's going to be able to put out some significant damage here if he's able to stick on one of these targets.
This now feels a little bit like self-confidence in Noble. Now they're getting a nosebleed, and when I say getting a nosebleed, it's like, oh god, we're so high up, I'm going to have a nosebleed. And that's kind of the situation now. They're ahead in the game, they have the Fire Giant, and they're having a nosebleed because they don't know what to do next.
So what noise happens whenever you have a nosebleed?
No, we'll come back to that later on.
Well, no, I get my noise again. How come you don't have to do it?
Because I'm not stupid, aggro, that's the reason.
That's debatable.
So with this Fire Giant now being down, they didn't got one tier 2 tower. Win for Allegiance.
Absolutely a win, because that was in danger of the game falling apart for Allegiance, but instead they hold, they defend their Phoenixes. All Phoenixes are up right now. The good side for Noble is that means if they win a fight and they don't need the Fire Giant, that's a little bit of less protection and health and damage that the Titan can do to you. Again, the Titan loses health and protections and does more damage whenever there's more structures up on his side of the map. So if they take down the tier 2 tower, that's one less extra buff that the Titan has to defend you with.
I'd like to see Allegiance push mid lane really hard here while still defending the Fire Giant, because that is a weakened Phoenix that Noble have here. Allegiance could just push straight up mid with one person, maybe weaken with the mobility to get back out again, and then make Noble make a decision, Fire Giant or defend Phoenix.
It's true. It would be risky, though, because if you give up Fire Giant, you lose 3 people, and then you're out of position. You're definitely losing a Phoenix. Now it's going to be Noble looking at the Fire Giant,
this time
falling
round,
down
though,
about 2/3.
There is 5 members of Allegiance around here. Weaken is pushing mid lane right now, as Noble weren't happy enough to fully engage on that Fire Giant. They will reset it for the time being.
But Venenu gets poked out, so does Whalrus, but he's got the Guan Yu on his side. He's got the one with the conviction heals that'll make it so that poke isn't quite as relevant. Again, Venenu does not like to go for lifesteal in his builds. Instead, going for a Crusher, a lot of Pen with the Titan's Bane, the Aussie, and then some extra attack speed with the Odysseus bow.
Now, all teams seem to have the same issue about 45 minutes in as we approach that number now, is that you don't get to the stage very often, where you're very, very even in the game. All Phoenixes are standing at the moment, even though there's a weakened one in mid lane. And the issue is that one team fight, good or bad, can cost you the game.
Man, when you're at this point in the game, your stomach is just in knots. It's so tight. Anything can go wrong or right for you. It's
Let's
very
see
intense.
who steps up. Incon steps in and goes straight onto Wowy, who Sanctuary's early. Meanwhile, on the backside of that, Adoro gets a good pull off space and time. Does not find a mark by the looks of it. Mirage went in on weaken, and Mirage is in trouble. Wowy, though, picks up Cope early on.
Cope's in a different area code than the rest of Allegiance. He wasn't even on the map. We were zoomed out, and we still could barely see him. A free pick onto Cope. 65 seconds on that respawn timer.
And a 3k potion picked up by Weaken in the jungle as well. This is the stage of the game we're at right now. Incon will be defending this Fire Giant one more time. It'll be a 4v5 this time, but look at ultimate usage there. You still have stealth with the Spirit of the 9 Winds, and you've still got Wrath available. Meanwhile, nothing on the side of Noble.
Only Wowy with that ult, so, and that's not really the 100-0 you all. That's
I've seen the snipe steal things though before.
That's true. Jermaine comes to mind with
That's
the Fire
true.
Giant steal, but it looks like they're going to be the ones going onto the Fire Giant here.
Round 2.
Whalrus trying to zone out the entirety of Allegiance, but like you mentioned, Incon's here and he has the Wrath.
And Incon is going to force them back for a second there. The Fire Giant is about 50% right now. Stealth is in the right angle for this as well to hit people. He could fire this early if he so chose here and have Incon jump in, but will they do it?
They don't know exactly where he is right now. Allegiance
now.
just trying to force him out. You're right, he could have just ulted that and let Incon go in. That would have been enough damage, but instead Noble still a little bit gun
Still
shy.
risky as well, I think, as well from that. But there's a blink from Mirage, and he doesn't find what he was looking for. The
Huge
hit
crit.
onto Stealth does go through, but Sanctuary, the somersault, and Mirage gets the kill. Venenu's now in a world of hurt because he comes back into Wowy, and Wowy picks him up too. Whalrus is here with a big baby, and Cope is surrounded.
This is Noble's game. That's going to be 3 down if they can find Cope. Stealth never got the
could be
ult
game.
up. That's 3 dead. What is
End.
Noble? Noble's going for the
Please
end. They're
end.
going to be looking at the middle Phoenix. This is Noble's chance to pick up a point.
Here we go. Into the Phoenix they go. Incon is alive and Weaken is alive. If there's 2 men on the team, you want the experienced boys left to defend this. They have 1 ultimate in them in Weaken. The Wrath is available for a stun from Incon too, but will Noble care? Will Noble even look towards them, or will they look straight for the Titan?
Huge damage coming out. Incon gets the last hit onto Aduro. Titan's falling fast though. 2/3 health.
it's not that
Half
fast.
health. They're gonna be backing
Okay.
off. Wubbn gets the kill onto Weaken. Still 3 members here, but they've got no creeps.
They've got no creeps and they're trying to backdoor it, but the fear no evil. The Titan is going to fall, and Noble plays spoiler. Noble are going to take the game off Allegiance. It's a 1-1.
Unbelievable game coming out of Noble. Finally able to exercise their
happened.
demons. When
It
they
happened,
got
boys.
the victory.
You did it.
Draylo on the analyst desk is feeling very excited right now. Ran gang for life, as he likes to say. Unbelievable game, so back and forth.
So it was 1 game in the regular season, right, that they won, and now they win 1 at LAN.
Allegiance
They've evened out.
it evened out. Just as good as on at LAN as online, but a lot less games here at LAN. But overall, a terrible game for Allegiance to lose. Just so back and forth, so close. And this game was so important for them. They could have been tied for first place in points. Now they're sitting a point down from LG and 2 points down from Eager going into the final day.
And technically, I mean, I've not really worked out the bracket fully, but they can still end on 7 points. Can Noble.
Yeah, if
So
they
that
win
could-
out,
that could actually be really interesting,
the
right?
dream is still alive for
For
the
Noble.
Clowns and Crowns.
And that'll actually help out. As I mean, Allegiance obviously losing, only picking up 1 point today is very, very rough for those boys, especially when LG still have to play Eager today.
That was basically worst case scenario for ALG. I mean, you were going to have a contested set earlier today, but you expected to be able to pick up 3 against Noble here. Again, absolute worst case scenario. ALG had put themselves in a great spot with their play yesterday. Now they've kind of thrown away that lead they had in the points. Tomorrow, and this next game for them is very, very important. They don't play, but watching Luminosity versus Eager, the points that can happen there, Eager can go up to 10, Luminosity could go up to 9. That would give both of those teams a huge lead over ALG.
All the time. Let's head over to Tom here. Guys, was this Allegiance losing points, or was this Noble turning up?
Ran gang, bang, bang. This is what happens when you let them turn up, man. I told you, we were just talking about it. Each game, we get to see, all right, they learn a little bit here. They learn a little bit there. This guy turned up 1 time. This guy turned up another time. All the lights aligned. The stars came together, and we see it happen. You know, one of the biggest things that I think we were missing here was Wowy. We didn't get to see him really do anything throughout the course of the weekend. And then today, Wowy actually stepped into it. We got to see some action come out from the Hunter.
Yeah, Wowy on this ROM today, he just looked like he was ready to play. And, you know, you could be a little bit concerned for him considering how that first game went. It was still a little bit shaky towards the start of the game for him. But this game here, he made sure that he was on point. He was where he needed to be. He was securing his autos and landing auto attack after auto attack. He was also doing a phenomenal job on his ults.
Bobby, Mirage also turned up around with Wowy. It was sort of like a combination that led them to this victory. They not only played their comp very well, played it very slow, played towards the mid game, but Wowy and Bubble had fantastic performances.
Exactly, and that really has been the key for me. We've seen Whalrus do it time and time again, right? And Mirage has been Bubble Mirage. He has been the sort of secondary guy here, and then we just haven't seen the Wowy until last game. We saw it happen, and then immediately, I think it was you, Taco, that was just give him the Ram again, please. Like he's actually doing it.
That's really all I wanted to see. I just wanted to see him on that aggressive guy because I think that it fits his playstyle probably the best out of any of the hunters available. If anything, I also don't want to really take away though from Venenu. I think Venenu did an excellent job on the Jing in both games. It was just rather unfortunate for him that the second game didn't go in their favor, but I think personally that he did an excellent job as well, utilizing the kit of Jing and the speed from the Fatalis built into the buff off of her dash. And I really think that it was just unfortunate timing every single time for his team to go ahead and lose the fights after he was securing these like massive triple kills and things like that. But I mean, sometimes as a hunter, it's pretty standard win lane lose game.
You know, Hindu asked us a question before, and I want to ask both of you guys. He said as he tossed it over the desk, was this ALG sort of dropping the ball and Noble getting lucky, or did Noble just win this game? Taco, go first.
I think that Noble have just been so undervalued this entire time. I don't want to say that these teams haven't been expecting a dominant performance from them or anything like that, but I do think that some teams are feeling a little bit too comfortable, and I said it before we started in this set today, Noble have that spoiler potential.
For sure.
And even now that they have the point on the scoreboard, day 3 is going to be particularly interesting considering that Noble can honestly, they could still make it in theory. So
technically,
it'll be a rough path, but I mean, you never know. Anything is possible, and I mean, Draylo's been saying Rand Gang all day, but I think it's definitely. I'm happy for them that they finally got their win.
I mean, we're not looking at the goose egg, and that's certainly good. And you know, Draylo, I want to ask you the same question. Did Allegiance drop this ball and Noble just sort of put the pieces together? Or was this Noble's game? Did they win this one?
Noble definitely played up after that poor performance in game 1. This is night and day. We saw on the first day that they had they played through their mid-game comp very poorly. Today they look very comfortable, very composed, very together. There's a sense of cohesiveness between them.
Exactly. We saw Aggro before. He was asking for the cohesion to come together, and I think we finally got that. We got Toli standing next to Wally the Whalrus. Let's talk to him after his fantastic performance.
Thank you, F-Dot, and indeed there was a lot of cohesion going on with Noble. I'm joined with Mark Maloney, Whalrus. Tell me, how are you feeling after that epic set with Allegiance?
Pretty good. It was a really long game, and it was hard, but yeah, we pulled through.
Tell me how the first game, you dragged it on to 35 minutes. It was such a close game, 18-18. What was the deciding factor to Allegiance to come back?
We felt like a lot of our plays were sloppy and just like not listening to calls and stuff like that. And we worked a lot on that on the game too, and like I think it showed.
Speaking about working together a lot, after the first day, you know, you guys lost both of your sets, but that didn't stop you from still trying really hard. Tell me what you guys did after day 1.
We watched some of our games back. We were all really determined to win. We want we want to win, right? So obviously we worked hard. We didn't give up. We never give up.
I'm really surprised that you guys came in here. You're still really focused despite your earlier upsets. But now in the second day, you're showing improvement. You know, your games against Luminosity, you were still really close against them. And in the second game, tell me about the second game, how you guys adapted from the first to the second game.
Second game, I think we just we reviewed our mistakes and we thought about them. We talked about them at pregame. We used the end of our game when they're killing our Titan to all talk about this stuff. And I think it was resolved in the end.
Tell me how you guys are feeling about the next set that's coming up. It's going to be Luminosity against Eager. Who would you rather win here?
LG, because I have more friends on that team, to be honest. Yeah. Is
there any shout-outs you want to give before we let you go?
Shout-outs to Draylo. Give us confidence. Shout-outs to my team, obviously. Shout-outs to Org. That's about it. Shout-outs to everyone at home, too, who's watching.
Thank you, Whalrus. And up next, it's going to be Luminosity against Eager after this short break. Thank you, man. Good shit. Good shit. Good win.